The pain of her disloyalty didn't strike me like a sudden blow. It wasn't a burst of fiery anger. Instead, it burned slowly, a faint spark deep inside that grew into an unyielding resolve. It started with small clues. Text messages, seemingly harmless at first, filled with too many cheerful emojis from a colleague named Derek. Late-night talks she dismissed as pressing work issues. A growing distance between us, heavier than the stone walls of our house. I tried to ignore it, holding fast to trust. 7 years of marriage, brimming with shared chuckles over inside jokes, leisurely Sunday brunches, and evening walks with our dog, should have been enough to quiet suspicion. What kind of fool doubts that over a few texts? The kind who notices his wife packing delicate, lacy lingerie for an alleged work trip. I spotted them as she zipped her suitcase, items she hadn't worn for me in years. My heart clenched, but I stayed silent. I could have challenged her, demanded the truth, but something held me back. Maybe I wasn't ready for her lies. Perhaps I needed solid evidence. Or maybe I hungered for justice. She left that morning, her lips grazing my cheek as if I were a faithful dog. "Back in a few days, darling," she said, her voice sweet enough to twist my stomach. I stood still, the sour taste of betrayal lingering, watching her car disappear down the road. The moment she was gone, I sprang into action. First, I needed proof of her unfaithfulness. I wasn't about to unravel my life on a mere hunch. Her laptop, left open with saved passwords, became my entry point. As I accessed her email, my heart pounded like a war drum. There it was, a hotel booking for 2, complete with a romantic dinner order. "So excited for this weekend, babe," Derek had written, a name now more repulsive than red tape. My gut churned, but instead of collapsing, a cold grin spread across my face. Not one of joy, but one that signaled the battle was just beginning. Next came preparation. I took time off work, spending 2 days crafting a meticulous plan. Phone calls, drafted texts, a strategy so tight it could strangle a river. This wasn't just about catching her in the act. It was about reclaiming my dignity. I wouldn't let her waltz back with fake tears and a cheap bottle of wine. By the time she returned, I was ready. She walked through the door, suitcase in hand, smelling of hotel shampoo and deceit. Her smile was rehearsed, the kind that masks guilt with charm. "Hey, sweetheart," she said, leaning in for a kiss. I stepped back, holding up a hand. "We need to have a conversation." Her face flickered, just for a moment, before she regained her poise. She was adept at hiding her tracks, or so she thought. "What's the matter?" she asked, her voice dripping with false worry. I didn't answer with words. Instead, I held up her phone, retrieved from her nightstand, its screen showing an email from Derek. Her face drained of color, her lips quivering like a fish out of water. "Want to explain this?" I asked, my voice cold as ice. "It's not what it seems," she stuttered. "Really?" I pressed. "So you weren't at the Grand Mariner with Derek?" Her silence spoke louder than any admission. That's when I slid off my wedding ring and tossed it. Not at her, no, that would have been too easy. It hit the floor, bouncing and rolling until it stopped at her feet, a final, resounding punctuation. "Get out," I said, my voice steady though my insides raged like a storm. She begged, cried, threw every excuse from blaming my absence to outright denial, but I stood unwavering. I had proof, irrefutable evidence, and I wouldn't let her paint me as the villain. When she finally left, sobbing and dragging her suitcase, a strange peace settled over me. But I wasn't done. The next step was consequences. First, I sent an anonymous email to Derek's wife, complete with incriminating details, hotel receipts, email screenshots, even a photo of them together, pulled from her phone. She deserved to know the man she'd married. Then, I made sure her parents learned the truth. They'd always viewed her as perfect, their untouchable princess. Let's see how they felt knowing she'd betrayed her loyal husband with some nobody from accounting. The final strike was a video. Weeks earlier, I'd installed security cameras at home, telling myself it was for protection. They captured far more than our dog chasing squirrels. I edited the footage into a devastating montage. Her sneaking to the bathroom to text Derek, packing that lacy lingerie, whispering, "I love you, Tim," into her phone while I slept. I uploaded it to a private online forum dedicated to exposing cheaters. Within hours, it spread like wildfire. Thousands watched, commented, and shared their outrage. Strangers reached out, offering support, and for the first time in weeks, I felt less isolated. In the end, she lost everything: her reputation, her job. Derek's wife, an HR staffer, didn't take kindly to the affair. And most importantly, me. I wasn't just a betrayed husband. I was reborn. I sold the house, quit my job, and set off on a solo adventure to Europe, roaming cobblestone streets and sipping wine under vast skies. I met someone new. Someone who taught me what love could truly be. One evening, as the sunset bathed the Amalfi Coast in golden hues, I smiled again, a genuine smile, born of liberation.